Hello, welcome back to Limited Insight and episode 5 of the Granny Annex build. This week we're covering weeks 5 and 6 of the build, condensing 2 weeks work into the one episode. We're going to do the same again next week. A lot happening at the moment. Week 5 and the walls are starting to head towards the sky, so big progress on site. Only 3 days work completed in week 5, but it didn't exactly get off to the best start. Yes, as well as a bank holiday, the weather was pretty poor. Not exactly ideal for block laying, so no work was carried out until Wednesday, but boy was quick progress made. They started with digging a large trench on the bottom lawn, ready for the waste pipe and water feed to go in a few weeks' time. Once complete, they could start on the block work to form the walls of the annex. Starting with the inside course of blocks, it's quite quick work, so it moves up pretty fast. Blocks are placed on top of the damp course, where you have this black protective layer preventing moisture from rising up into the walls. There are a few layers of this, the last one being laid in such a way that any moisture formed within the walls is led towards the outside walls and not the inside. The outside course of blocks being laid on top of the membrane. The mortar for the blocks is mixed on site, of course, the challenge being able to get hold of enough cement, as it's currently in short supply due to COVID, with suppliers capping on the amount of bags you can take away each day. So this was kind of purchased piecemeal. You can see the metal ties that will eventually bind the 2 courses of block work together and allow the insulation to sit between them snugly. Here you can see how the ties are set into the mortar. So the block work continued for the rest of the week, and in just 2 days, with 2 of them working, they had the block work up around 5 rows high around most of the inner perimeter and built up to the corners too. It was great to see the building really taking shape, and it was surprising how quickly the walls are going up. From a personal point of view, I have to say I really enjoyed watching this process. It's quite therapeutic to watch. So that was it for week 5. Despite only working 3 days of the week, a lot of progress was made. So on to week 6 and another 3-day working week with Monday and Friday taken off, and it was pretty much more of the same, just block work carried out. By the end of the first day the inside course was almost complete, and then work started on the outer course. Space of course being left for windows and the French doors. You can see more insulation was added in between the red discs, securing the insulation panels in place. It was interesting to see how they tackled the pillars which will make up the walls in between the floor to ceiling windows in the living area. As structurally you can't build up the inside course first like the rest of the walls, so the outer course is built to tether the 2 together, making it sturdier for building up. By the end of week 6 the building was at full height most of the way round, with the block work due to continue next week, completing the outer course. We're now halfway through the anticipated 12-week build time for the project, and at this stage, although work has progressed well, I don't see it being complete in another 6. It may be watertight by then, but not complete. I expect the work required to finish the landscaping may run into the early summer. So that's it for this episode. Next week we'll cover another 2 weeks of work again. After that we'll go back to 1 week, simply because we'll have caught up and I'll be kind of reporting on the progress in real time. Originally I saw this being a 10-part series, but as things are progressing it looks like it might drag on a bit longer than that. There's still a lot of work to do, a lot to show you, so please stick with me and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.